They let him out.
Former Gateway Church pastor Robert Morris is out of prison after serving 6 months for 5 felony child sex abuse charges.
I think we've all been anticipating it.
He pleaded guilty in October and will remain on probation for 9.5 years.
If you don't know who Robert Morris is and don't know what the situation is, Robert Morris is the former pastor of Gateway. He was accused of molesting a young lady back in the 80s when he was in his 20s and she was 11 years old. Morris was convicted in a decade-old child sexual abuse case. This case involves allegations that he sexually abused Cindy Clemishire. She was 12 years old in 1982. And this sexual abuse went on for almost 5 years, which is unbelievable. And he got away with it for decades. When Cindy came out with her allegations, Morris resigned from his position as head pastor of Gateway Church immediately, and he said it was an inappropriate relationship. So fair amount of distancing there. He was sentenced to 10 years, but only had to spend 6 of it in jail. The rest of it, he's going to spend 9.5 years in probation. What does that mean, first of all? So probation is a suspended sentence. He serves it in the community under strict supervision instead of in prison. So he still has to serve his 10-year deal, but he can spend 9.5 years of it living at his home, which is a $1.5 million lake house. That is insane. He has to register as a lifetime sex offender. He has to pay financial restitutions, which I think is in the realm of $250,000, $300,000, $270,000 for the victim, for Cindy. This is almost comparable to Epstein, not in the severity of the sex trafficking and everything else, but in terms of how the government is handling it. When Epstein was indicted and he was found out, the government put him in jail. It was a slap on the wrist. They put him in jail, but he could leave his jail cell for 8 hours, 10 hours of the day, and then he would just go back and sleep there for the night, and then he'd go back out. This is kind of the same thing. Oh, Robert, you molested a girl. You're a pedophile. You were 20-something years old, and she was a kid. Bad boy. All right, you're going to be in the jail cell for 6 months, and then go live in your house. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy all the great food. Enjoy your family. Have a great time at your house, but we're just going to keep an eye on you. But otherwise, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Oh, there's only one thing we're learning from all of this, from Morris to Epstein to everything, and it's that people with money and with any level of power are protected. And if they're not protected, at the very least, they are shown favors. So how do you go about this as a Christian, where you have these two sides of things? You have the grace and the forgiveness of God. You also have consequences. Well, I think the simple answer is that both can be had at the same time. Both are true. Anybody can be forgiven of their sins, and God can show grace to anybody. And at the same time, there are consequences for what you do. The good news for Robert Morris is, if he actually repents, if he genuinely repents of his sin, repents of what he did, falls before God and asks for forgiveness, God will forgive him. He can be forgiven and be shown grace and still be shown mercy. But at the same time, he should also face the full consequences here on earth for what he's done. The deal that he's gotten here, that he only has to spend 6 months in jail and then the rest of it he gets to live in his $1.5 million house on a lakefront, it's a slap on the wrist. It's nothing. Now, ultimately, it's the government, it's the law, it's whatever they do. That is their realm. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing any of us can do about that. But nonetheless, the consequences, the punishments for the things that we do, especially with something as severe as this, molesting a child, should be far more severe than what he's gotten. The way that I think about it is this. Remember when Jesus was on the cross and he was hanging between the 2 thieves? One of the thieves repents. He says, "Remember me when you enter your kingdom." He puts his faith in Jesus. He is saved in that moment. Jesus says, "I tell you this day, you will be with me in paradise." But that guy didn't get taken down from the cross all of a sudden. He was saved. God forgave him of his sins and saved him. But he still hung on the cross. He was still paying the penalty for whatever crimes or wrong things he had done. 2 things can be true. 2 of those things can happen at the same time. Robert Morris can be forgiven of his sins. He can have his heart cleansed. He can be shown mercy by God. He can absolutely have that. And at the same time, he should absolutely pay the full price for what he's done. He should not be getting this kind of luxurious of a deal. At least in my opinion, I don't think he should. He should spend that full 10 years behind bars. Anyway, that's what's going on. I don't agree with it, but what can you do?